Hi, Misha here, and have another SKS video for you. Nothing too crazy, but this was available, so I thought we would just briefly talk about the Romanian variant of the SKS, known as the M56 or model 1956, produced at the Cugir Cugir. Yeah, I'm convinced there's actually no right way to say that now. And before you say anything, I've had even Romanians argue how to say it, so I give up. I'm an American. Leave me alone. This is their variant, their clone, their licensed production of the Soviet-Russian Simonov self-loading carbine, aka the SKS-45, chambered for 7.62 by 39, feeding from a fixed 10-round box magazine, topped off with 10-round stripper clips. This is a short stroke gas piston with tilting or tipping bolt. This version does not have a grenade launcher. That was mostly a Yugo thing. It does have the underfolding blade bayonet. And from what I know, this is the correct leather sling for this. And it stores a cleaning kit in the buttstock. This is pretty well a copy of a late Soviet production gun. It is really just a clone. There's very little difference. We have a blued metal finish with the bolt and the white, which is the original finish for Russian guns before refurbishment. We have kind of the later style Russian gas block. Beechwood stock, 20.5-inch barrel. These did have a chrome line barrel. All are produced at the Cugir Arsenal. This was the model 1956, but most people agreed that production, at least full production, did not begin until 1957 and would run through 1960, which actually this gun is here. So this would be a ostensibly last year production gun. There are some undated M56s, and people are unsure if these are early or late production or just, otherwise middle production. Likewise, no one really knows how many were made. Early estimates had them as high as 500,000. Later estimates seem to have it down to about 100,000, maybe a smidgen less. But far fewer than Russia or China, and even probably fewer than Yugoslavia. These are not especially common in the US of A. Not all that many were sent over here. And of those, many were well used. Unlike some SKSs from China, Yugoslavia, and so on, that were essentially made and put up and never touched, the Romanian guns seem to have actually seen quite a bit of use. To that end, even if they have the blued finish with the bolt and the white, most all of these were refurbished at least once. And that means serial numbers are rarely stamp matching. You will find some with force match serials, and you will find plenty with just mismatched serials. Probably they were cannibalizing guns to keep others running later in life. So if you find a mismatched Romanian, it's not as much of a deal killer as it would be, say, with a Chinese gun. Quality is, reliability, accuracy is the same as with most SKSs. These do tend to have a pretty shiny and very deep dark bluing. Really, if you look at the Romanian M44s, early Tokarevs, early AKMs, they had some really pretty stuff. It really wasn't until the 80s that they got it maybe a little bit sloppier. So the fit and finish is actually quite good. These would see military use because while Romania would adopt the original milled AK-47, AK Type 3, they would never produce them. They would just buy from Russia. So they would use these alongside. And it wasn't until 1963 they would officially adopt the AKM and put it into production. And obviously it took several years to have enough. So these would still see use throughout the 60s. But as time went on, they would be used more and more by the Romanian Garda and law enforcement. And then eventually some were destroyed or sold off as surplus, and it's very likely that some are still in Romania today. While this is not the rarest of the SKSs, not by a long shot, not near as rare as, say, an East German, or in at least the USA, North Korean, it is certainly less common than Russian, Yugoslavian, definitely Chinese. So it's a neat variation. And this one came in on a collection I recently picked up. And I figured it'd make a good shooter grade. The money was right on it. So this will probably become my new SKS shooter, so I don't have to put wear and tear on my Russian. And Jan and I both have always liked Romanian stuff. So it fits right in. This is a pretty good example. Pretty good. It's definitely in the higher half of how most of these are. And this is a mostly matching, if not 100% gun. So yeah, just thought we would show this off to kind of conclude various SKSs. Appreciate you tuning in for this kind of shorter video. Any questions, or if you'd like to talk about your Romanian M56, we'd love to do that below in the comments. If you could, like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you could, check out the link to our Patreon page. I showed the import mark. These are usually marked on the barrel just before I go. Very tasteful. See, they used to be able to do import marks where they weren't terribly ugly. Anyway, appreciate it like I said. We will catch you very soon next time.